Hi, it's Sherry from A Quilting Life, and today I'm here to share just a little mini trunk show. We've been talking about doing some trunk shows with our quilts for some time now, and in fact, we are going to try to do a live stream trunk show at either sometime in March or beginning of April. Chelsea and I both have a lot of new quilt patterns that it would be a great way to show you all of those quilts in a live stream. But I've had several things come back recently and a few finishes, and so I thought for now this would be a nice way to share with you some of these projects. So I will just we'll zoom the camera down and I'll talk about each of the projects, and we'll also be able to pop up a full-size picture of all of these quilts that I'm going to share today. Okay, the first quilt that I want to share with you in today's little trunk show is the quilt on the table, which is called Charming. And it is from the just released book Scrap School by my good friend Lisa Alexander. It has 12 different quilt patterns in it from a variety of designers. And I have to tell you that it's kind of really fun to be sharing this in here, because this is the first quilt that I put together in this new studio just about a year ago. And we hadn't actually moved in yet. In fact, this cutting table wasn't here yet. We hadn't figured out how to get it in the room. And so the floor was wide open here while we were painting and doing some work on the house before we moved in. And I decided it was going to be easier to lay this out in this big empty room, a lot easier than in our rental where we were pretty crowded. So this is actually the very first quilt that I finished here. I actually began working on it in Oregon, so on a retreat with, actually Lisa was on that retreat. So just really a lot of fun things about this quilt, so that I was able to sew on it at the coast and finish it in this home. I decided that I wanted to, when Lisa told me about the book and invited me to be a part of it, I was so excited, and I knew some of the other people who were going to be contributors, and I was a little bit overwhelmed because there are some amazing quilters that she asked to participate in this book. Let me just kind of read well, here are their pictures. Lisa Bonjean, Connie and Mary, they are a duo of quilters who have been for a long time. Amanda Jean Nybarg, you might know her as Crazy Mom Quilts. Susan Aki, she's Yard Girl on Instagram. Kim Deal, me, Sarah Hechteman, Gudrun Erla, and Amy Smart. So just a really fun group of quilters, and of course Lisa Alexander, just pop up a picture of her, has some projects in here too. So just a really, really great compilation book. But I wanted to just use a variety of fabrics from all of our collections, and the easiest way to go about that was to start with mini charms. And so I pulled as many mini charms as I could together, started sewing them together. This sashing is from our Summer Sweet collection, and it was really fun to use to kind of add more contrast. Our Balboa collection hadn't yet arrived, but I got little pieces of the strike-offs that I had back by then. So some of these are actually strike-off fabrics, so that was kind of fun too. But this is just a really fun scrappy quilt, and there are lots more quilts. And I have a few that I want to make, and I just need to decide which one to do first. But so fun to have this one back. The quilting was done by my friend Marianne Bott, and she did, I think it's called Baptist Clams, and just a really super fun quilt. The backing is Summer Sweet. I just did the large floral, and I did the binding from Summer Sweet as well. So I feel like, and the little posts here are from Summer Sweet. So okay, I will get this one off the table and show you the next thing. Okay, this next project I wanted to share in today's trunk show is my table topper. in the brand new Moda All-Stars Top the Table book. And this one, you might recognize some of the fabrics from the last one, but because I used the same binding and the border fabric, and all of the fabrics in this one actually are from the Summer Sweet collection. So I did make this kind of around the same time, I feel like, as I was making the quilt that I just showed you. But this is called Happy Days, and I named it Happy Days because at the time we were working on our Happy Days fabric collection, which is actually going to be in stores in the next month or so. So sometimes it's just hard coming up with titles for everything, and so I did name this after the fabric collection that we were working on while I was sewing with this. But anyway, just a fun topper. The backing is not from Happy Days. That is from Harper's Garden, I believe. And this is going to be great to have on our kitchen table. It's going to just say spring. But I just wanted to let you know there are lots of great projects in this book. I probably have half a dozen that I want to make right away. It's a great book. They are small pieces, big pieces, simple, more complicated. There's a couple holiday projects in here, but just a really fun book if you're looking for some small projects to work on. And finally today, I wanted to show you my finished Moda Blockheads 3 quilt. I have finished this one, and you might have seen a picture or two on the blog, but I thought it's just so fun to show it up close on a video. I absolutely love this quilt. It has fabrics from most of our fabric collections. I did the border with my favorite citrine floral from our Happy Days group, and the coral stripe is also from Happy Days. The backing is actually the green from our Summer Sweet collection. So, and the sashing, which I'm super happy with how it turned out, is from our Walkabout collection, just kind of a low volume print that just added a little bit more to the quilt rather than using just a solid. I used the little sashing posts are from, I believe they're all from Happy Days. I think I took a mini charm pack and cut them down into these little squares. So I can link a blog post that I did that will give you the measurements that I did for the sashing and my borders. So, and also these patterns are still online right now through the Moda Blockheads. So if you need them though, be sure you get them now because I'm not sure how long they will be available. But there are 56 different patterns, and there are actually a few extras. Like this one was an alternate block, and this, I believe, might have been an alternate block. So be sure that you go get those because I'm not sure they're going to stay on the internet. Okay, and this is the final quilt I'm going to show you today. I will link the books that go along with the first two projects I showed you, and I'll also have a link to the Moda Blockheads page where you can get the patterns for all of these fun blocks. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of these quilts and projects up close. I had a lot of fun making them, and it's really fun when they come home, because when I sew these projects for quilt books and magazines, they sometimes are gone for a year or even more. So since I got several of these finished and a couple things came home right at the same time, I thought it'd be fun to do this trunk show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share with a friend and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks so much for stopping by.